Experience more often. A Detroit jury clears a 73-year-old man who helped his wife commit suicide. Saddam keeps American troops out of Dahuk. And the Los Angeles cops who stood and watched face no criminal charges. This is the CBS Evening News. Dan Rattle reporting. Good evening. A dramatic verdict tonight in a controversial suicide trial in Michigan. A man stood accused of helping his wife to die. Correspondent Bob Faw reports on life, death, and justice.
Bob Harper's ordeal in court ended after months of personal anguish. His wife Ginger had incurable liver cancer and wanted to die. So she and Harper came from their California home to this motel in Michigan, where they thought state law would not prosecute him for helping her commit suicide last summer. Instead, he was charged with murder when he admitted suffocating his wife with a plastic bag after she'd swallowed a heavy dose of tranquilizers.
While Mrs. Harper was asleep, Mr. Harper took the bag, put the bag over his wife's head, secured the bag, and then sat down and waited until his wife stopped breathing.
In his defense, Harper testified that killing his wife was an act of love.
Not a question of when she was going to get well, but a question of how soon she was going to die. And Ginger could not see herself going through that kind of a treatment.
Today, after deliberating just a few hours, a jury which could have sent Harper to prison for life sent him home, free.
Not guilty. Yes! Members of the jury, will you please stand and raise your right hand?
All I can say is thank goodness, and people, I think they understood that sometimes the law doesn't cover the whole thing.
The Harper case shows again the agonizing choices family members face when loved ones wish to die. Roswell Gilbert, 76, was sentenced to life in prison for the 1985 mercy killing of his wife, who'd been suffering from Alzheimer's disease. Last year, he was granted clemency. And last year, a Michigan judge dismissed murder charges against Dr. Jack Kevorkian, who built a device which helped an Oregon woman kill herself. Assisted suicide is illegal in most states, but the issue isn't going away because more people want more control over how and when they die.
What Mr. Harper did was against the law. He was prosecuted for committing a crime. He was found not guilty, but that doesn't mean that the next person who does exactly what he did will be found not guilty as well. They could easily be found guilty and could wind up in jail.
Had she known my stepfather would be charged with murder, said Ginger Harper's daughter, Shanda, she would have stayed here and suffered.
I just feel like he's been vindicated and my mother can rest in peace now.
Bob Harper, though, says he won't rest until state laws are changed and others don't have to face the legal ordeal he did. Bob Fall, CBS News, New York.
President Bush is hesitating on the edge of what could be a quagmire in northern Iraq. U.S. and Iraqi troops have been in a standoff around a key Kurdish city. In effect, Saddam is keeping the U.S. troops out. The president and his military commanders are evidently hoping still that they can somehow avoid occupying the city, but still get Kurdish refugees to return inside there. David Martin reports.
With U.S. troops manning positions just a few miles outside the Iraqi provincial capital of Dahuk, the Bush administration appears on the verge of abandoning its plans to move deeper into Iraq in what is increasingly seen as a quagmire. The overall commander of the operation today called Dahuk a tar baby.
I don't want to become the mayor of Dahuk or anything else like that.
The American military already patrols much smaller towns like Zaho further north, but Dahuk is a city of 200,000. It lies just outside the safe haven Allied military forces have carved out for the Kurds in northern Iraq. And right now it is occupied by an estimated 300 to 400 Iraqi soldiers. Opening Dahuk up to the refugees who just last month fled for their lives from the Iraqi army is considered critical to the Allied relief operation.
So a large number of the people, of the Kurds who were up on the Turkish border, came from that city. If people feel comfortable enough who are up in the mountains to come back and resettle in the city, then a large portion of the problem will have been taken care of.
But yesterday, a senior Iraqi general met with U.S. commanders and protested their plans to move into Dahuk. Instead, he suggested a compromise. The Iraqi army would withdraw, but Iraqi police would stay behind, their activities monitored by international observers. The Americans, who have become increasingly leery of being sucked further into Iraq, seem to buy the idea.
If you could convince the Kurds, I suppose, to come in and still have a viable Iraqi police force that wasn't threatening to the Kurds, I suppose that would be, with someone supervising the activities of that force, that might be, I think, the kind of direction we'd like to see it go in, I think.
But the opinion that really counts is that of the Kurds themselves, who must decide whether it is safe to go back to a city where the men carrying guns are wearing Iraqi, not American uniforms. Dan?
Thanks, David. Secretary of State Baker is flying to the Middle East tonight on behalf of President Bush. It is Baker's 4th trip there in 2 months, and a senior official says it will also be the last unless there is progress toward peace between Arabs and Israel. Soviet Foreign Minister Besmertnik today became the highest-ranking Kremlin official ever to visit Israel. He said the Soviets hope to contribute to the Middle East peace effort, and he hinted that Israel and the Soviet Union may soon renew formal diplomatic ties broken off since the 1967 Mideast War. Relations between the two countries, Israel and the Soviet Union, have been warming over the past 2 years since President Gorbachev agreed to let Soviet Jews immigrate freely. In that time, 250,000 have gone to Israel, putting a strain on that tiny nation. Martha Teichner has a report.
For every Soviet Jew who steps off a plane in Tel Aviv, today there is also one who has permission to leave the Soviet Union but has decided not to. Word has gotten back that Israel is failing to keep the promise of the Promised Land. But still, 200,000 people are expected to come this year, on top of the 250,000 who have emigrated already.
A 2-hour drive from Tel Aviv. This is Carmel, a town of 28,000 expected to double in size over the next 5 years because of the Soviet immigrants. Its mayor has called the new arrivals a ticking time bomb.
Tents have begun to appear in a small park. New immigrants continue to arrive in Carmel at the rate of 300 a month, even though there are no apartments left and few jobs.
I don't know what I will do tomorrow. I haven't work, I haven't a flat.
Lilia and Natan Getsalov have been camping here for a week. He is a dental technician with a construction job. She is an unemployed psychiatrist. But at least Lilia's mother is working. She makes $2.25 an hour in an underwear factory where Soviet women are gradually replacing Arabs. Jobs and housing. They are an unsolved problem for Carmel because they are an unsolved problem for the Israeli government. A $50 to $60 billion unsolved problem.
This is a mission impossible. This is something, if we don't take care of, is able to break the back of this country.
It is already breaking the spirit of some immigrants. At Tel Aviv's open market, they wait in Soviet-style lines for handout produce. The sign says welcome in Russian and Hebrew, but Soviet Jews are responsible for a multi-million-dollar shoplifting problem. Last night, seasoned Israeli prostitutes were breaking in another Soviet beginner. At a Tel Aviv alcoholism clinic, a Russian-speaking counselor takes a call from one of the growing number of immigrants who has slipped over the edge. Endlessly filled government offices have convinced them that Israeli bureaucracy is no better than Soviet bureaucracy, and they are suspicious of both.
Soviet Jews still think that behind this phone there is a KGB that listens on to their calls, and that most probably the phone will not work.
Lawyer Jonathan Livny's clients, immigrants who have the very Soviet attitude that the government has to take care of them, confronted with one very Israeli fact of life, it can't. But faced with the alternative, remaining in the Soviet Union, few, if any, who have come to Israel are sorry. Martha Teichner, CBS News, Tel Aviv.
And still ahead on tonight's CBS Evening News, a ruling on the Los Angeles lawman who stood by and watched. And a warning to pet owners, a rabid increase in rabies.
Going 55, if you look at the speedometer for 1 second, you travel 80 feet. At Oldsmobile, our head-up display lets you keep your eyes on the road. It's a feature to look forward to.
This is the new generation of Olds.
If you're looking to maintain regularity, look here. There's a drug-free way to do it, and Kellogg's All Brand can be an important part. Because a high-fiber diet, including Kellogg's All Brand, can give you the fiber you need to help stay regular, drug-free. And All Bran goes a lot better with berries. A high-fiber diet and Kellogg's All Bran for drug-free regularity.
We asked world champion gardeners in the Guinness Book of World Records, which plant food do you use?
Miracle Grow. Miracle Grow. Miracle Grow. I swear by Miracle Grow. It's the best.
Hey, if world champion gardeners depend on Miracle Grow, shouldn't you?
Police in Palm Beach, Florida now say they are considering formal charges against United States Senator Edward Kennedy. The charges, if filed, would be obstructing justice. The police say Senator Kennedy may have tried to mislead them as they investigated a rape accusation against his nephew, William Kennedy Smith. Senator Kennedy today forcefully and flatly denied that his family is involved in any cover-up. A Los Angeles grand jury wrapped up part of its investigation of the police brutality case today. As it did so, yet another video surfaced, this one showing prisoners being hit by sheriff's deputies. Jerry Bowen reports.
As a week of pretrial motions ended today in the case of the 4 Los Angeles policemen already indicted in the Rodney King beating, the county grand jury signaled that will be the extent of the criminal case. 17 other so-called police bystanders at the beating scene will not be indicted, a development noted with frustration by the Los Angeles County Attorney, whose office presented the evidence.
Now, however morally wrong their failure to intercede, in California law there is no criminal statute under which these officers can be indicted, no matter how reprehensible their action or their inaction. No person can be charged with a crime unless they have violated a statute.
The inaction of the 17 officers may now be investigated by the U.S. Attorney's Office for possible civil rights violations. But of greater concern, said the county attorney, are the results of interviews with some of the police bystanders.
To this very day, some of the officers present do not acknowledge that this incident should have been handled any different than it was.
Also today, yet another controversial video, coupled with a quick attempt at damage control. This video shows Los Angeles County Sheriff's deputies putting down a 1986 jailhouse riot involving 100 gang members. The deputies firing rubber bullets to regain control, and once the riot was over, inmates crawling on elbows and knees by the deputies, several of whom struck the subdued prisoners with batons.
The people who were there received a stern butt-chewing, I'll try to put it as nicely as I can, from their captain.
Furthermore, said the sheriff, the incident forced a change in riot control procedure in hopes of curtailing excessive force. Ironically, this video was initially made public by a retired deputy sheriff, disgruntled, he said, over the disability settlement he received after 21 years on the job. Jerry Bowen, CBS News, Los Angeles.
The stock market took a big dive today amid worries about the financial stability of an insurance company. The Dow plunged nearly 51 points. Federal officials are conducting a criminal investigation of President Bush's former education secretary. Investigators reportedly are looking into whether Lauro Cavazos used frequent flyer bonus miles from his official travels to get free airline tickets for his wife. Government regulations forbid this. President Bush went to Princeton University in New Jersey today, his first trip outside the Washington area since his heartbeat and thyroid problems surfaced last weekend. The president said he is feeling less tired now and he is off his portable heart monitor. Actor Michael Landon went on The Tonight Show last night to talk about his real-life battle against inoperable cancer. He lashed out at what some of the tabloids have been saying about him.
It seems so totally insensitive to me, especially since, how do they know what my little kids have been told in my own home? That a tabloid would write 4 weeks left, or it's over. Can you imagine that?
Well, the tabloids have never been known for their decency or sensitivity.
I mean, it's unbelievable that people can be that way.
Michael Landon said he's received more than 50,000 letters from well-wishers. The threat of rabies is on the rise. In the Northeast especially, the disease is becoming a problem where wildlife and urban life are drawing closer together. Correspondent Richard Schlesinger has a report.
And the raccoon turned around and chased Charlie right behind him.
Karen Dagnalt is taking no chances. On Monday, her dog Charlie got into a fight with a raccoon that had rabies. The dog had already been vaccinated, but while Karen was taking him to the vet, blood splashed on her. So today, Karen Dagnalt is starting a series of rabies shots, just in case.
I'm afraid, but I'm doing all that I can to prevent it.
Across the Northeast, health officials are worried about an alarming increase in rabies among raccoons. The danger is there could be more people like Karen Dagnalt, whose dogs or cats tangle with the infected raccoons, increasing the risk that rabies could be passed to humans.
There he is. He's a big one.
In Philadelphia, police and health officials have found rabid raccoons in residential areas.
Come here. Come on. Get that noose over here. Hold hard. Don't show no mercy.
Raccoon rabies has been spreading up the East Coast since 1985, and now the New York City Health Department says the infected raccoons have made it to Manhattan for the first time in 50 years.
Raccoons are quite entrepreneurial these days. They're migrating into the city on the backs of trucks and on the backs of buses as they come across the river crossings.
As you know, rabies is becoming a severe threat to New York.
So far, no large outbreak of rabies among other species has been reported. Health officials are pushing pet owners to be sure their dogs and cats are vaccinated. And even horse breeders have started a vaccination program.
You're going to get the vaccine.
Over the next few weeks, Karen Dagnalt will get 5 rabies shots. They are not as painful as they used to be, but they are expensive. And if rabies continues to spread, health officials worry more people could find themselves in treatment. Richard Schlesinger, CBS News, New York.
When you buy Valvoline motor oil, you get quality, high performance, protection, and now, for a limited time only, great taste. It's Valvoline's 125th birthday, and right now when you buy 12 quarts of Valvoline and buy 12 cans of any Coca-Cola product, we'll pay for the Coca-Cola product. People who know use Valvoline. With other motor oils, you just won't get the great taste of Coca-Cola Classic.
If your doctor has recommended Metamucil and you like the results, but you don't like those glasses of thick liquid, change to FiberCon. Get the same fiber action in easy-to-swallow tablets. Get doctor-recommended FiberCon.
The doctor knows where it hurts. Dr. Scholl's unique 2-layer air pillow insoles. 1 layer for shock, 1 for comfort. You'll feel better when the doctor is in. Dr. Scholl's.
Through the cold, in the heat, there is a passion that drives the people of GM. Improving Chevrolets, Pontiacs, Oldsmobiles, Buicks, Cadillacs, and GMC trucks, so that today, 95% of their owners would recommend one. With 99 models redesigned and engineered, GM is putting quality on the road.
He knew them all, Harry, Ike, Jack, Lyndon, Dick, and Ron, but he called them Mr. President. What he doesn't know about Washington isn't worth knowing. Sunday.
This weekend, attention will be focused on the family as America pays tribute to Mother. Tonight on Eye on America, a much less pleasant family matter, divorce and its impact on children. As Richard Roth will show you now, a staggering percentage of the children of divorce rarely, if ever, see their fathers.
Raise your arm, honey.
Some days it's plain that life can be tough enough when you're only 8 years old.
Chris, you okay?
8-year-old Chris Thompson, though, is growing up with another hard knock to his self-esteem. He's a child of divorce living with his mother, Lori, and he hasn't seen his father in years.
I just wish I saw him, because then I would know him and then I could do things with him.
Chris's father, David Bell, lives just a few minutes away, but it might as well be a few thousand miles. David and Lori's divorce was an angry one, and soon after the marriage broke up, another tie was broken. The bond between father and son.
And I have no idea where he even lives right now.
Do you think about him?
Yes, quite a bit.
Do you feel you abandoned him?
Yes, definitely. Definitely.
David Bell spends money on Chris, support payments ordered by a court.
That's an L. Is there a dot above it?
But he doesn't spend a minute of his time. And an alarming study claims that's not at all unique.
Okay?
How's it feel?
The sentimental portrait of the sensitive father has almost become a cultural cliché. The new American dad, so involved in childcare that sometimes mom's hardly part of the picture. But researchers at the University of Pennsylvania found a different reality. After divorce or separation, in almost half the cases, children hadn't seen their fathers at all in the past year.
And that was a staggering fact.
Sociologist Frank Furstenberg found many men regard marriage as a package deal.
They see their relationship with their children as primarily running through their relationship with their wife. And so when they get divorced, they begin to disengage from their children.
That disengagement, though, isn't always the father's fault. Geography and jobs may be problems, but a lot of fathers say they're pushed away by angry ex-wives. And some of them are trying hard to push back.
This is in November of last year, when I had it for my last visitation.
Fathers like Tony Seeger, a Nevada cook who says he spent $15,000 in legal fees to enforce visitation rights with his daughter, who's been moved to England.
There's some of us that don't quit.
Tony's among dozens of fathers who've been drawn to a Las Vegas group organized to help divorced men.
We're getting a little carried away with this women's movement, and you guys are just taking it.
That's the truth. How many fathers here want to see their kids but are being hindered or prevented from seeing their kids?
Why do you think we're here?
It's like a salmon going upstream.
You divorce your spouse, not your children. Your kid will always be your kid, no matter what your age.
And I fight, and guess what? I'm still not seeing my kid. My kid does not know me.
What?
Chris Thompson doesn't know his father because his father disappeared, saying he didn't like dealing with the woman he divorced.
What do you think is best for Christopher?
I think what's best is that hopefully she's got another man in her life that she can spend some time with, and then he can spend some time with my son also.
So he's willing to give up his child to somebody else. I mean, just for 8 years, Christopher has not had a dad.
And it's tough sometimes for an 8-year-old.
Come on, come on. You okay?
Chris has learned to seek out help when he needs it, finding others who fill part of the role a father would play. But he's also learned a hard fact about divorce. The law can force a father to pay for a child, but it can't force him to care. Richard Roth, CBS News, Altadena, California.
You're on your way. The world is opening its doors.
When I was growing up, Mom and Dad taught me that we've only got one planet and we'd better take care of it. Now I'm about to join a company that's committed itself to helping people preserve our wildlife and to finding new ways to protect the Earth.
Yes, you can make a difference in what tomorrow brings.
Can't wait.
'Cause God lets you do great things.
This morning, as guests at the five-star Arizona Biltmore are tempted to breakfast, the fine brewed coffee usually served has been secretly switched to Folgers Crystals. Does it have the fresh brewed taste and aroma these guests expect?
They were just sort of waft me out of bed. It tastes like fresh ground beans.
Would help wake us up, get us going.
It's Folgers Crystals.
Coffee John. I would have thought it was brewed. Is the word elegant? Can that be used for coffee?
Mountain-grown Folgers Crystals. Coffee rich enough to be served in America's finest restaurants.
I'll drink to that.
Shoot some slices, shoot some shreds, shoot some salad. Salad, salad, salad shooter.
Presto Salad Shooter Slicer Shredder. Point and shoot right where you want. Clean up easy, dishwasher safe, store anywhere.
Salad shooter.
Original, cordless, and professional salad shooter.
If you buy this new Oldsmobile and have a burning desire to haul 5,000 pounds through the desert in the middle of summer, go ahead. That's how we tested it.
This is the new generation of Olds.
The only thing more stunning than the scenery is the competition. The Bell South Atlanta Golf Classic this weekend on CBS Sports.
Trains run deep in the American psyche, so our final story is designed to send you into the weekend with a full head of steam and relax your train of thought. Bob McNamara takes you on a time machine trip on the tracks.
Once you see a steam locomotive, once you feel one, it's something you never really get over.
It just sits there and talks to itself, quietly, with one eye.
The Cumbres and Toltec Scenic Railway.
You're basically dealing with a time machine, because as soon as this starts, it's not 1991 anymore, it's 1934.
For 20 years now, in the Colorado and New Mexico Rockies, tourists have ridden rails that miners their gold and the mail rode a century ago.
It's a step back in time as much as anything, isn't it?
Though the sights and the smells of coal smoke are like being swaddled in a time capsule, something else the other day made the air even rarer. It was a roaring relic of the 20s, a seldom used, almost one-of-a-kind steam-powered snowblower.
You can almost feel the stresses and the strains in every piece of steel as it goes around.
Aboard it, the plow's like riding an earthquake. But to those who saw it chew a path up a canyon wall and cut through a winter avalanche, thrills are made of this.
And that plume coming out of there, it's just spectacular. It's one of those beautiful things, especially on a sunny day.
You know, this is a hallmark of a time when we thought there were no limits to what we could do.
This is about the biggest mob I've ever seen follow a train here.
The mob was a collection of rail fans, a coleslaw of characters stricken with limitless lust to picture every railroad rarity.
It's like a chase, it's a hunt. You're trying to recreate an image from the past.
For Cumbres and Toltec crews to clear the 64 miles of mountain track, it takes days. But for those who saw something reborn for just a few hours, a chance of a lifetime's been lived.
In a way, it's a little bit like a bulldog, you know? It's so incredibly ugly that it's beautiful.
Bob McNamara, CBS News, Chama, New Mexico.
Our train is way behind schedule. I'll see you Monday. Good night.
I thought my husband Dan was perfectly healthy, but the doctor said his cholesterol level was 218. So we changed to a healthier diet, including no cholesterol Mazola, America's leading corn oil.
In a clinical study, a low-fat, low-cholesterol diet, including Mazola, reduced cholesterol an average of 17%.
Did Dan's cholesterol come down?
You bet. 100% pure Mazola corn oil. Together, we're beating cholesterol.
Introducing the new Gripper Zipper from Ziploc. Now the easiest closing bag there is. In fact, even the little one can close it. Hello. Feel the zipper. It's locking. Feel it close the first time, every time. Ziploc bags with the new Gripper Zipper.
I put off going to the doctor. But this burning stomach kept waking me up at night. Finally, I just went. I can imagine how relieved I was when my doctor said Mylanta. He said I had heartburn. And heartburn like mine needed a strong medicine.
Mylanta is strong medicine. Strongly recommended. In fact, Mylanta is the antacid doctors recommend most.
My doctor said Mylanta.
Now available in cherry and cool mint cream flavors.
Everybody needs some money sometime. Everybody needs some cash somehow.
Hello, dear. To send money fast by phone, call 1-800-CALL-CASH or come to any of Western Union's 16,000 convenient locations.
My sometime is now.
Western Union, the fastest way to send money.
This is CBS.
Good evening, I'm Vicki Yates.